Are you looking to become a better leader? Whether that's in business, in sports, or in life, and you haven't found a book yet to help you get to that game-changing aha moment, well, we have the book for you. Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership. Tighten the Lug Nuts will help you get to that game-changing leadership moment. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and iBooks, or at 360managementservices.com. That's the number 360managementservices.com. Pick up your copy today and start changing your leadership styles.
Now it's time for the show.
Do this look like work to you? Nah. Looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Everyone tonight is here. All of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah. All of this for me. Bottles over here. All of this for me. All of this for me. All of this for me. Light flash, light flash. All of this for me. All of this for me. All of this for me. Bottles bringing bottles, yeah. All of this for me. You for real?
Hello, and welcome into another edition of the Rome Show. I am Andrew Romanella. That is Rocky Romanella. It is 7:02 here on February 3rd at Hamilton Radio. You can get us at hamiltonradio.net channel 2 or facebook.com/The Rome Show. Call into the show at any point in time. We'll be taking you all the way up until the 8 o'clock hour. The phone line is always open. It's 609-807-2492. That's 609-807-2492. Boy, Rock, do we have an exciting show for the Romo Sapiens tonight?
Happy Super Bowl Monday, everyone. Happy Super Bowl Monday.
I saw a statistic last night before we get into Straight Off the Rome that said that nearly 17.9 million people on average take off Super Bowl Monday.
That's an incredible amount of people. It was a little light in our office.
Here's my it's noticeable.
It was definitely light in the office this morning.
Here's my feeling. If that's a realistic statistic, shouldn't the United States just come out and declare this a holiday?
Or they can move the game to Saturday.
Well, I'm in favor of that. Big time. Either way, it's Super Bowl Sunday. It's going to stay Super Bowl Sunday, and we're going to dissect it right now here on The Rome Show. And we're going to get you a little excited for the spring sports that are right around the corner. Of course, those baseball guys like myself see the Super Bowl Sunday as the start of baseball season rather than the end of football season.
Yeah, we got some pitchers and catchers heading down to Florida in a couple days.
It's glass half empty, glass half full, depending on who you are. Straight Off the Rome today is from Super Bowl 54.
Of course.
Which the Kansas City Chiefs won, victorious 31-20 over the San Francisco 49ers. Before I dive deep into my Straight Off the Rome, I must say that this is one of the best Super Bowls I have witnessed in a long time. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of the Super Bowl. I felt like it was back and forth the entire time. And never once throughout the entirety of the game did I feel like either team was out of it. And for me, as a fan that didn't really have a dog in the fight, besides wanting to be right over you, which I wasn't anyways, I really just wanted to see a good football game. And we got that last night. So that's the first thing I noted. And it also was noted because viewership of the Super Bowl was up for the first time since 2015, okay? In 2015, here's a quick little Romalytic for you, all right? In 2015, the Super Bowl reached an all-time high at 114.4 million viewers.
That's a lot.
They had been on a steady decline since then, not having been able to get back up to 100 million viewers. Well, there were 99.9 million viewers of that Super Bowl last night. So it's the biggest jump since that 2015 record-breaking Super Bowl. And I think that shows a lot as to what the game was, both leading up to, because for the first time in a long time, us so-called experts that talk about this stuff.
I am not an expert.
Not at all.
All right.
But we can call ourselves self-proclaimed, right? A lot of other people do.
I mean, I'm an expert in a lot of things.
Yeah, probably not sports talk. But either way, right? We're right.
Yes.
For 14 days, we talked about what the script would be, and it almost played out exactly the way you thought it would.
I thought I agree the game was incredible. I like it when I hear at halftime when they're like, "This is completely not what we expected."
Yes, but it is though.
Yeah. No, listen, no, you had everything that happened you talked about. Right? You talked about the Chiefs overcoming like a streaky offense and actually putting together a complete game and then, putting someone away. You talked about how that could happen, right? You talked about how, the 49ers had a sound game plan. They ran the ball all through the NFC Championship game. And if they came to the game with the same game plan as that, which they did in the first half, right? For about 65% of that game, they stuck to that game plan.
Yeah, 100%.
And then so you saw so you were able to see both sides of the teams and what they were capable of doing and how they've won before. I just think, the Chiefs were better on that day.
609-807-2492 is the number if you want to get in on the Rome Show and get in on the Super Bowl conversation. The second part I have about Straight Off the Rome. Patrick Mahomes won the Most Valuable Player award for Super Bowl 54.
Yes.
I don't disagree that he was one of the most valuable players for the team.
He was.
But if I had to hand out the award, and I said this to Chris right when the game was ending, I said Damian Williams should win the MVP over Patrick Mahomes. And he said, really? And I said, yes, because he had 17 carries for 104 yards, averaged 6.1 yards per carry, and had a TD on the ground. He then had 4 receptions for 29 yards and another TD in the air. Totaled 133 yards and 2 TDs. To me, the most consistent player the entire game offensively for the Chiefs was Damian Williams and then Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill. Because mind you, people are forgetting that in the third quarter when Patrick Mahomes looked a little and he wasn't really throwing balls as hard, Tyreek Hill made 2 diving catches, one of which got overturned because Kyle Shanahan threw a challenge flag.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And we'll get into him in a minute, right? But to me, if you look at the entire I get it. What Patrick Mahomes did in the fourth quarter, it warrants the praise it's getting. But overall, the man fumbled the ball twice. Now, he didn't lose either of them, but fumbled it twice, threw 2 interceptions, okay? And I don't care about the quarterback rating, which was under 80. That really, I don't even know what that stat means. I look at the numbers and what my eyes tell me. And what my eyes tell me is Damian Williams and then Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill were the 3 most consistent, most valuable. If those players weren't on the field, no matter what Patrick Mahomes had, I don't think the Chiefs are winning that Super Bowl.
Awesome. So I have 3 points.
Okay, go get him. Go get him, Tiger.
And I can't remember the third because it just happened. I was only going to have 2.
All right, start with 1 and 2, and we'll get there.
There we go. So first, it's funny because during the go-ahead drive for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes started to look pretty good, and it was funny. Troy Aikman literally said, Patrick Mahomes really hasn't had the best game. Right, and then obviously he had a good, end of the third and fourth quarter to obviously go ahead and win the game. So I thought that was ironic, right? And then to the point of Sammy Watkins, Damian Williams, and Tyreek Hill, yeah, those guys were awesome. Like they were so good, and I think the offense as a whole was really good. And I think when you can run a bootleg, right? Is it because Damian Williams was so good? Or is it because Patrick Mahomes is just that much of a threat to run? What is it that makes it so powerful? That's big time. I mean, that's like the whole season. That's why Patrick Mahomes is the MVP of the year, right? But when you're looking at a game, and if all 3 of those pieces are equally contributing, then you have to go give it to the person who puts all that stuff in motion.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you. But here's, I guess, my counter argument. Okay, it's almost like, when you give a running back the MVP, you're also giving love to the offensive line. You're giving love to the guys that are in the trenches.
Can't give the MVP to the offensive, offensive unit.
That is what football is.
Yes.
So, in my opinion, if I'm going to hand out an MVP trophy, I'm going to go with the consistency over the 60 minutes of the game. That recency bias. What if that was the first quarter?
Here we go.
Let me give you this real quick.
All right.
What if that was the first quarter for Patrick Mahomes? They go up 21-0. He plays the way he played in the fourth quarter. But then quarters 2, 3, and 4 play out the exact same way as quarters 1, 2, and 3 did last night. They still win 31-20, but as the game goes on, he looks worse and worse. His stat line's the same.
Yes.
He did the exact same stuff, but he didn't come from behind. That's the difference.
Okay, does the offense run that way if it's a different running back and not Damian Williams?
No, it runs the exact same.
It runs the exact same. Okay. If you have an equal receiver at the skill level of Sammy Watkins,
Right.
does it work? Now Tyreek Hill, you can't compare because he's better.
Right. Okay.
All right. So you could essentially replace Sammy Watkins from a route running and catching perspective.
Last night, I could have replaced Patrick Mahomes with 8 quarterbacks in the league, and I still might have won that game.
You think?
Yeah.
I
If
don't
I
know,
put
man.
Russell Wilson in that game,
Well, that's the same guy.
okay, that's the point you're making.
I guess that's true.
Exactly.
I was just trying. I was trying to make a case for Patty.
And I don't disagree. It's like weird. I don't disagree with him getting the MVP. I guess I'm just so tired of quarterbacks. It is a team game, and they do run the engine.
Who's
and
the
without
best defensive player?
for the Chiefs, the dude that kept swatting all the balls, Chris Jones, former friend of ours.
Yeah, that's right.
That guy. That's why I remember it. He had like 3 swatted balls. He got pressure all day on Jimmy G.
So you do think they should go to an offensive MVP and a defensive MVP?
Yes, 100%. Because, and I said this too during the game, if the 49ers win this game and anyone on the offensive side of the ball gets the MVP, then it's absolutely not the way we're trying to make this award out to be. Just like the Heisman is right now. Just call the Heisman the quarterback award and then give Player of the Year awards to every other position. It's the same thing with the MVP, right? And even the MVP of the league is 90% of the time going to trend towards being a quarterback
I think
than
it's-
any other position.
Yeah, I think it's a lot like. I think it's actually becoming more and more similar to the Cy Young versus the MVP in baseball.
Yes, 100%.
Right,
Yes.
where your Cy Young award is the best pitcher, right? Because ultimately, listen, they're pitching in maybe 40 games.
Yeah, right.
Right, 162 game season. It's impossible for you to be the MVP.
Right.
Right. So, but it's the most important position.
And it has happened in history
Most important
before.
position. The problem, yeah, and so that's but because the award is given so many times to quarterbacks now, that it's not that it's supposed to be this way, but it's become that way, where they're just in a separate category, completely separate category. There's the team on the field, then there's the quarterback, and you're fusing. I mean, just the way your offense is running, you're fusing running back and wide receiver.
Yes, you are.
I mean, because Debo Samuel ran more balls than anyone else in the first half, I felt like.
Right, you're right. I get what you're saying.
You know?
It's because a lot more positions, to your point, are becoming interchangeable on the field. Just like a tight end is blocking and he's going out to catch pass. Travis Kelce and Kittles are such a big threat for both of those offenses. Okay, I want to say this, okay? That was straight off the Rome, okay? I had to make the MVP point, but I want to keep the Super Bowl discussion going.
Okay.
But you got to understand, people, the Romo Sapiens out there, whether it's facebook.com/Andrew.Romanella or /The Rome Show 1, whether it's at Wide World of Rome on Twitter, whether it's Coach Romo24 on Instagram, whether it's 609-807-2492, and it's the phone lines. Any way you want to get at the Rome Show, get in on the Super Bowl conversation. We're going to continue it right here. And I think you know where I'm going with this.
Halftime show? I'm just kidding.
Very Latino flair to the halftime show.
It was.
If I could dance like that before the end of my lifetime, I'd be the happiest person ever.
It'd be you. Listen, you have some pretty funny dance videos already, so that would go
Yeah, we
probably
could,
top 5.
maybe we have to put those out on the Rome Show. We could do some throwback Thursdays from your wedding alone.
yeah. That's
There's
Those-
a lot of character in the Rome Show.
There was. So off topic. My bad. We can get to the halftime show later.
Kyle Shanahan,
Nice.
what didn't you learn from Super Bowl 50? What didn't you learn? Run the football. And I heard someone say this to me today, okay? Oh, well, the Chiefs were prepared for the run. So, why would they keep running the football? I don't know, because they're down 24-20 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. They have 3 timeouts. Their first play from the 30-yard line is a 5-yard run. So now you're at 2nd and 5 with 3 timeouts, presumably 2 plays before the 2-minute warning. You're going to tell me you can't just run your normal offense? Yeah, there's a 4-minute offense, but you're telling me that you got to the Super Bowl in the hands of your running backs, dudes that we didn't even know, brought you to the Super Bowl, and it's working during your 4-minute drill, and you drop Jimmy G back, pass gets swatted. 3rd and 5, drop Jimmy G back again,
It was very Houston Texans.
pass gets swatted,
Yeah.
you lose the Super Bowl. What didn't you learn? I don't understand it.
I don't know, but don't yell at me about it.
I'm so bothered by the fact that, because as a coach myself, we talk so much about adjustments, right? Hey guys, listen, if you want to get better, you got to know what you need to do to get better. Okay, Kyle Shanahan, as a play caller, okay, the next time you get to a Super Bowl, I hope you're listening to this, by the way. The next time you get to a Super Bowl, when you go in for the halftime show, whatever you do the exact opposite. Don't do what you're currently doing, because every time you come out for the second half, you do the opposite of what's gotten you to where you want to be.
So you're doing a double negative.
This is what I said about Pete Carroll when he made the decision about Marshawn Lynch not getting the football to not win back-to-back world championships. It wasn't about not giving Marshawn Lynch the football. It's that he wanted his hands stamped on that victory. So everybody in America knew they were going to run the football. He says, if we throw it and score, I look like a genius. Because then everyone's like, wow, we all thought he was going to run it. I bet the Pats had no idea he was going to throw it. No, dude. Stick to what got you there. And he didn't. And now the 49ers are not Super Bowl champions.
Okay. I agree that Kyle Shanahan got away from his game plan, but he got desperate. I mean, let's be serious. He had a very solid game plan. It worked. And what happens is they get stopped in a critical time of the game, and their young coaching staff decided that, you know what, we need to get away from what we're doing. They got us figured out, rather than, no, let's stick with what we're doing, but we can make a tweak here and there. And that's where I think that, and I actually think that's where the Chiefs actually ended up winning the game, was on those decision makes, right? The 49ers ran all over the Chiefs in the first half.
They did.
Right?
They did
ran
whatever they
all
wanted.
over them. So obviously the Chiefs made a good job making adjustments, and they made them well enough to intimidate the 49ers to make it believe that they had to change, which is, Steve Spagnuolo. So everyone hates on him.
But you're right.
Everyone hates on him, but he's won 2 Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and I think that's A, proven, and B, in the first half, to me, it looked like the 49ers front four on defense could do whatever they wanted with the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. And by the way, on the misdirection piece,
You loved it.
well, listen, on the misdirection piece, no, I'm saying, yes, Pete Carroll probably was pretty cocky, but
He was.
it's not like you ran Philly in every game that year. You ran the misdirection because no one expected it from you.
Yeah, but clearly someone expected it because he picked the ball off and they didn't win the Super Bowl.
It was a bad spot, but I just don't.
If you play action pass off the run,
Fair.
I'll give that to you.
Fair. Listen, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to be so hard on the dude.
I am gonna be hard on the dude because that's ridiculous. Now, let me ask you this, okay? Because you made the point about the Chiefs' adjustments, okay? I want you to take me inside your coaching mind here, whether that's at ADP or your time as a hockey coach. I don't really care, okay? And I'm giving you the ample amount of time to prepare for this mentally. All right. For those of you that don't know on the Rome Show, if I strike a serious conversation in the midst of a sports talk show, sometimes Rocky gets a little flustered because he's not prepared for his serious mind to come out. Because he's on a sports show, he's having fun. He's usually making fun of me for getting fired up about stuff. Okay. So I've given you a little bit about time. Okay.
Awesome.
Coaching
Ready.
mind.
Let's
Ready.
do it.
Normally you get 15 to 20 minutes at halftime.
Yes.
Okay. Now you go play in the biggest game of your career, and you're a coach, and you now have 45 minutes at halftime.
Yes.
Do you change anything? Do you almost make it seem like it doesn't matter? Like, how does one actually approach? That's a 25 extra minutes. There's a lot that can go positively or negatively based on how you utilize that time.
Yeah. The extra time is good and bad, right? It's good for the coaching staff because it gives them a little bit more time to dissect the film, like see what's happening, see what's going wrong, and make decisions. And I would argue that in the 49ers case, they probably had too much time, right? So, whereas in a 15-minute game, you find the important plays, right? You've been looking at film every down on the sideline, right? They've got Microsoft Surfaces all over the place. So you've already categorized what's most important, and you're making that decision as you walk into the tunnel.
Right.
Right? Whereas here, like, you know what? I don't have to look at it yet. Right? Let me walk into the locker room. Let me see how my players are doing. Let me see if I need to, like, who do I have to go get the trainer to work on to make sure, like, take advantage of this extra time, right? Like, is there an injury that we need the massage to get out there? And then you get to it, and you're like, you probably had 4 different decisions about what you wanted to do, whereas in the regular season game, you're like, I'm going in. All right, here's where we're messing up. Like, coaches upstairs confirm it with me. Let's go make a decision.
Yeah, right.
Right? Because if I have to go draw something on the board or give something to the players, then I need to be quick and I need to get him from as fast as possible.
Well, and that's probably where the veteran status of Andy Reid comes into play over the youth, per se, of Kyle Shanahan. Even though Kyle Shanahan has a history of coaching success with his father, who's also a Super Bowl champion in the league, Andy Reid has physically been there and failed at it up until this point every single time.
Yes.
So you would assume that what has helped Andy Reid get over that hump last night was the fact that he relied upon the information of his failures
Yes.
over those last 21 years and took that ample amount of time at halftime to say, these are the things that have not gone right to this point for me in the past. These are the adjustments we need to make, as opposed to the young staff that probably gets in there all fine. All right, we're 10-10. This is good, And I told you, if you keep the Chiefs to under 24 points or at 24 points, you have a chance to win that ball game. Well, you know what? At one point, it was 24-20, and I looked at Chris and I said, that's why I said if you keep the Chiefs to 24, you have a chance to win the ball game.
They did, and they got the ball.
And they had the ball, and it was the question we got asked last week. Somebody wrote in on the show, and they said, would you rather Patrick Mahomes, 3 minutes left on the clock, down by 4, or would you rather Jimmy Garoppolo? And we all agreed Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
But the Jimmy Garoppolo scenario is what played out.
Yes.
And I think the youth of the coaching staff gets into the locker room all probably fired up. I would be. Man, this is the best offense in the league. It is 10-10. And now we go into the locker room, and you probably get everything done, and it's like, damn, we still got like 20 minutes till we go back out there. All right, maybe I'll go watch Shakira and J-Lo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. No, I think you would think that they would have planned for the 45 minutes before. Right. I mean, if you talk to any football coach, I mean, their planning is more important than anything else. The preparation's incredible. Yeah. Right? That was the biggest takeaway from like Tom Coughlin's book. Like he's planning the season before it starts.
Yeah,
so
he knows
everything. If they didn't go into that game with a game plan on 45 minutes, then that's their fault.
And 100%. All right. Looks like Ruben just wrote in that we have a phone caller. That's super exciting. Caller, give me your name and why are you calling the Rome Show today?
It's great to talk to the Romos again.
Oh, Head Romo Sapien, Stephen McCrossan. Welcome back to the show.
How we doing, boys?
What's up, Steve?
Nothing much, man. Just got home from work, actually.
Oh, that's exciting.
Do you think that Patrick Mahomes should have been the MVP?
Yo, not gonna lie, who won MVP? Because I passed out from maybe having one or too many cocktails last night.
This is why the Super Bowl needs to be on a Saturday.
Steve, did you go to work today?
Yeah.
Did I what?
Did you go to work today?
Yeah, to be in work at 6:30 in the morning.
Awesome. Well, Patrick Mahomes won the MVP.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, after the halftime show, I think Shakira should have won the MVP, but, that's just me.
No, nothing for J-Lo?
I mean, hey, they were pretty even until that last ending part where they were both dancing next to each other. I mean,
that's fair. Steve, listen, we're finishing up our Super Bowl conversation right now. And I know you obviously told me that at work that you were super excited to call in today. So what do you got for us on your vibes of how Super Bowl 54 played out?
I mean, it was a, pretty much Chiefs' perfect ending to their season, or to the playoff run, Let's get, let's lose the first 3 quarters, make everyone think, oh, it's over. And then, Andy Reid finally figured out how to win, in big-time games, Wish he had that 7 years ago with the Eagles, but, what are you going to do?
So as an Eagles fan, are you like, is this like, oh, I won a Super Bowl because Andy Reid won one?
That's like 2 now.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, not really. I mean, everyone was just more like, especially for like Philadelphia people, it was more just like, oh, no one's really excited to watch Super Bowl. And then it's like, oh, well, Andy Reid's in it, want him to win. Jason Kelsey's brother, Travis Kelsey's in it. That'd be great for brothers to get it. And then LaShawn McCoy's on the team, so he gets it. But I mean,
He was
he's
inactive.
a 50-50 shot. Half the Philly people like him, half of them don't. So
That's true. Well, he was inactive, LaShawn McCoy.
yeah, he's still getting a ring no matter
That's
what.
true. That's honestly a great point. You know what?
Guy's
I
Super
think
Bowl
the
champion.
custodian gets a ring too. Like I literally think everyone in the organization gets a ring.
the whole crew.
So Stevie, let me ask you this, okay? Because as a Andy Reid supporter for probably 14 years or however long he was with the Philadelphia Eagles, do you put Andy Reid in the Hall of Fame now based on the numbers that he has all time as a coach, 6th all-time winningest coach in postseason and regular season history, 222 victories, and now a Super Bowl victory? Does that cement him as a Hall of Famer?
Future Hall of Famer, yes. First ballot Hall of Famer, no, I don't believe so.
Really?
But I don't think first ballot. I don't think he's done really well. He's very liked throughout the league. I haven't heard a single person say a bad thing about him ever. But I think when you look at his his timeline of coaching, you got Tom Coughlin, you got Bill Belichick. You have some of the greatest coaches in history. Who are also right there next to him. So at the same time, you put those three guys up. Obviously, Bill Belichick's going to get the first knock. Then it's going to be between him and Tom Coughlin. And when you look at statistics and all that, Tom Coughlin, if it comes down to the rings, Tom Coughlin's got 2 clanking against his fingers, or he's only got 1.
So I think that's an incredible argument for Tom Coughlin,
It
and I love Tom Coughlin, and I will put that out there. I love him, but in today's day and age, you're telling me that people believe that Tom Coughlin should be in over Andy Reid. That is a pure correlation between Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger or someone who's won one or Brett Favre for that matter. Literally Tom Coughlin probably really, if you look at wins and losses or good offenses, really hasn't had the reputation that Andy Reid has had, right? I mean, Andy Reid is known for high-flying offenses, right? Always winning in the regular season and never not being in the playoffs. Where, Tom Coughlin. 50% of the how close are they?
I have a strong argument for Stevie here. All right, Steve, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Tom Coughlin's career record is
Yeah.
237, 208, and 2.
Okay.
And 2 Super Bowl rings. So he is
Oh, listen, I love
20 games over 500,
Yeah.
and he's got 2 Super Bowl rings.
What's Andy Reid's?
And he took the Jacksonville Jaguars to the postseason for the first time in the franchise's
No
history.
doubt. No, I love Tom Coughlin. I'm all in on this. It's surprising to me that when it comes to quarterbacks, everyone wants the stats. When it comes to coaches, you want the rings, right? Because Eli's 2 rings. You would argue. That's very similar.
Well, they were saying that he won 222 games, but I'm looking up Andy Reid's stats right now.
Right? Do you see the correlation though? Am I
No,
making sense?
No, I get what you're saying. Okay, Andy Reid's career record is 222, 142, and 1.
Okay, so similar winning percentages.
He's 14-14 in the postseason, whereas Tom Coughlin. Oh, this is good.
This is a great comparison. They're both. I think at the end of the day, they're both Hall of Famers.
What do you think now, Steve and Rocky too? We both answer this. Steve, go first. Do you think Tom Coughlin's a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
So you think neither of them are?
I don't think either of them are. I think the only guy who should be a first ballot Hall of Famer is Bill Belichick, and that's pretty much given. Hence, he's still in the league, and he was in that NFL 100.
That's a
Also,
great point.
side note, did anybody notice that O.J. Simpson was on there, and he was nowhere to be found in that stadium?
Really, that's too bad.
And what's his name from the Giants? Why am I drawing a blank? Linebacker.
Oh, Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor didn't. He looked interesting. I should put it the best.
Lawrence Taylor
Yeah.
was interesting.
Yeah.
And by the way, Stevie, Tom Coughlin's postseason record's 12-7.
So it's better.
It's better.
Well, it's winning.
It's the same. So they're the same person, but Tom
Well,
Coughlin's
no.
got 3 Super Bowl rings,
He got
2 as a
three.
head coach.
That's right, 3 Super Bowl rings, and I guess Andy Reid's been to 28 playoff games versus the 21,
Coughlin's
the 20,
19.
19. So if that matters.
Yeah. I say,
Well, actually, no. Technically, Andy Reid does have 2 rings because he's got one as an assistant
Where
at
do you-
Green
where do you-
Bay.
oh, really?
Yes, good
Was that
point.
the-
Yeah,
Brett
because he
Favre
was on
year?
because he was there with when Brett Favre won it.
Wow.
I forgot about that.
How about that knowledge you just dropped for the Rome Show, Stevie?
I know. I'm kind of mad I forgot about that.
Did you also know that at one point in time he was the Philadelphia Eagles? This is Tom Coughlin. That he was the Philadelphia Eagles wide receivers coach?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Did not know that.
I did not know he was even in the Eagles organization.
Dude, some of the if you look at the resume for some coaches, you're just like, when?
Yeah, right. Yeah, like you feel like some guys have only been in that one
Yeah, you're
location
like,
forever.
when did this happen?
Like Bill Belichick graduated college and then was the head coach of the New England
yeah,
Patriots.
exactly. I was like, you coached the Browns?
Yeah. Yeah, or it's like, wait, he was the head coach for the New York Jets? Yeah, for about an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Still the head coach.
Mike Tomlin did anything else but the Steelers?
I couldn't tell you
I
if
couldn't-
Mike Tomlin was
no
even
idea.
alive before the Steelers.
He was born into that
Oh.
job.
That's
It's like
right.
royalty.
He looks like a player.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like yeah, and he never ages.
And he wear dude, those shiny silver
love 'em,
sunglasses,
dude.
gotta love them.
Love him. Stevie, you have anything else for the Rome Show before we go pay our bills?
Nothing I can think of, man. XFL starts next weekend. Baseball starting up again.
Yeah. Yeah. You
You know,
excited?
lacrosse season just started, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
starting off on a good foot.
Is the MLL ready to go?
No, it's the PLL now,
What's the P stand for?
Professional.
Oh.
professional.
I'm gonna
So
take 10
pretty
seconds.
much. Some quick
Professional
knowledge for you.
lacrosse
So beforehand with the MLL, you were only paid for the games you played in. So, for example, every single one of those guys, unless they were sponsored, they would work a 9-to-5 job all week, and then they would fly out Friday night to wherever they needed to be, play Saturday, like practice late Friday night, play Saturday, fly home Sunday.
It's unreal.
So guys who would play for like Denver had a team. Majority of them worked on Wall Street, and they would have to fly out to Denver every week over the summer, every weekend over the summer for the most part, to play in a lacrosse game and get paid. If you were very good, you probably got paid around like $10,000 for the summer.
Wow, that's reckless. You're like a part-time employee playing professional lacrosse.
So you spent the $10,000 on flights to get to the
Well,
game.
no, the team and all paid, like all that stuff's paid for, like like when your room and all that stuff and flights and all are paid for by the team.
Oh, okay.
But
That's not terrible.
this new lacrosse leagues, like they're all fully paid. Like they have full. I don't know how much they make, but they have like full benefits and all that stuff. So they're trying to make it like a full-on professional league. So
well, that's nice.
what it's kind of turning into is that Major League Lacrosse League is probably going to fold within the next year or two.
I would
So,
assume that the PLL, as we now know it, would be more northeast based, or is there actually a lot more lacrosse outside of the northeast time zone?
So the way they do it, it's kind of weird. So the way they do it is, it's not each city has a team. So they have they have lacrosse clubs. So now they have 6 of them. They just added another one. And what they do is they travel around the country together and play each other. So like their first series of the year is at Gillette Stadium.
Oh.
Then the following weekend they're probably going to be in like Atlanta, and then they might go to somewhere in California to play. Then they might go to Utah. They might go to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Then they'll go Florida, wherever they want to go. They set up venues and they go play each other there. So there's no specific city protected by a team. It's more of, I guess, kids follow the specific player kind of deal.
Very interesting. It's almost like taking an NBA model and rolling it into lacrosse a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Are they gonna have any Canadian teams?
No, but I think they play in Canada.
They have to.
I think they're playing one. They usually play like one game in Canada. So this year was at like one of the like CFL stadiums or whatever,
Interesting.
and like half the Canadian guys were all from the same town. So
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, lacrosse is splits as the national sport with hockey in Canada.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would, if you actually want to get a following, Canada would be the place to have a couple teams.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm also telling you, if you guys ever get the chance, you got to go to an indoor game. 'Cause
Yeah.
games are reckless.
I heard that shit's. Oh, I heard that stuff's nuts.
It's it's a good time. Tickets are cheap, which means you can spend more on some adult beverages
Steve,
and have a little bit better time.
Steve, you know it's a good time for us
What's that?
when you call into the Rome Show.
Dude, I enjoy it. I apologize for the past 2 weeks. That's on me.
It is on you, no one else. It's okay,
Oh,
because
yeah.
now you have the number hanging in your office. Just so everyone knows,
Good to know.
609-807-2492 hangs in Stevie's office. It's because that's how much he cares.
There you go.
We appreciate you, Stevie. Thanks for calling, man.
All right,
Thanks,
you guys
Steve.
have a good rest of the show.
You too, sir.
All right, later, boys.
Later. Wow, I love that man.
Yeah, he's a great
Great takes.
sports mind.
Yeah, great sports mind. Ruben. Hey, Ruben. We're going to pay some bills here, okay? Take a quick break. Let the people know what the 360 Management Services is all about. And then we'll bounce it back. Rome Show, February 3rd, 2020, 7:36, taking you up to the 8 o'clock hour.
Business, in sports, or in life, and you haven't found a book yet to help you get to that game-changing aha moment, well, we have the book for you. Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership. Tighten the Lug Nuts will help you get to that game-changing leadership moment. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and iBooks, or at 360managementservices.com. That's the number 360managementservices.com. Pick up your copy today and start changing your leadership styles.
We should update that commercial, Rock, because I think I heard a rumor on the streets that 360managementservices.com has converted to another website that is called tightentheLugnuts.com, and you
Really?
can go directly there for the book.
Did you really? Is that true story?
It is a true story.
Wow, I gotta get up. I gotta get up on the news. Thanks
So-
for bringing me to speed. I gotta go visit that TightenTheLugnuts.com website.
There you go. TightenTheLugnuts.com. We'll update that commercial for the people. You should still go to 360managementservices.com, especially if you're honestly just having an issue with your leadership style. I mean,
Yeah.
the book,
It sounds like
But the
you've got a couple of leadership lessons for Kyle Shanahan.
I have a few leadership lessons for Kyle
Yeah.
Shanahan. It's Andrew Romanella. It's Rocky Romanella. It's the Rome Show, February 3rd, 2020. It is Super Bowl Monday, as we've deemed it here in America. It's not a national holiday. The free people are trying to make it a national holiday. We'll see if the Rome Show can help out. You can get on the Rome Show like our boy Stevie just did at 609-807-2492. Get on the Facebook, facebook.com/The Rome Show 1, Twitter at Wide World of Rome. And I mean, seriously, at this point, you know how to get on the show. So, I mean, it's on you, just like Steve said. He didn't call in for the last 2 weeks. It was on him.
No, I appreciate that he took responsibility for his actions.
So we're going to do something differently today, slightly different today. Rocky called in our pre-show phone call. Yeah, that works. He called me in our pre-show phone call and said that he wanted to do Romalytics at a different time. Well, I think I got so heated about Kyle Shanahan, we got deeper into the show than I thought, but we're doing it earlier than we normally do. So I'm going to give you your Romalytics now.
Let's hear him.
Okay? And I think it's kind of fun. All right. So I did a little bit of digging, i.e., I went to some websites and found articles that people wrote about what I was looking for. And I saw some stuff last night about how Patrick Mahomes beat the Madden curse. Okay?
Yeah, he did.
And for those of you that don't know, here's your backstory before you get the Romalytics, okay? The Madden curse has been going on since Madden decided to put players on the cover of their video game, okay? Up until the 1999 season. Is it John Madden, right?
Yeah.
John Madden was the cover of Madden video games. In the 1999 season, they decided to make it players, thus starting the Madden curse.
Thus.
The Madden curse, essentially, at its easiest form, is if you get on the cover, you're screwed. Injury, terrible season, team is bad, anything you could think of. That's the Madden curse, okay? I found a few articles. CBS Sports has one. If you type in Madden curse stats onto Google, you get a good one from CBS. That details every guy on Madden and why they are cursed or potentially not cursed, because there's a few that are iffy. So the stats are this. 22 total players have been selected to be on the Madden cover, okay? Of those 22, 16 players have had an abrupt or troubling end to their season,
Wow.
Okay.
That's tough.
with probably the best two being one Eddie George, who still ran for over 1,000 yards, but like fumbled the football in the playoffs when they were the number one
Yeah,
seed,
yeah.
and then they lost the game to the Ravens, and then never was the same ever again after that.
No.
Tom Brady, who had a typical Tom Brady year, I think in 2018, but like they lost the Super Bowl or I don't know, something like that. So that was his. So those two are a little iffy.
He was on the cover in 18?
I think so. I'll look. I got them all right here.
Or was it the year that he tore his ACL?
So the big one, the year he tore his ACL, no.
Okay.
That was, this is a good one. Who the hell is Peyton Hillis?
I don't know.
Okay, well, he was on the cover of Madden in 2012.
Yeah.
So Brady was on the cover, in 2018. And they lost to the Eagles in the Super
Oh,
Bowl.
well, he's one of the 5 people that nothing bad happened to.
Yes, so he's one of the
Not
5.
surprised.
But
It's Tom Brady.
16 of 22. So I have some notable ones here that I just thought I wanted to read out real quick. In 2000, the second year of the Madden cover, which is essentially where people really believe it started, Barry Sanders was on the cover of Madden. You might say, well, what do you mean? Barry Sanders' career was just cut short. Well, people, he was put on the cover of Madden 2000 because he was the best running back in the 90s, and he retired before training camp even started. So that's how that went.
And that's definitely where it started.
100%. Marshall Faulk, 2003. We all remember Marshall Faulk, big time, part of the greatest show on turf.
That's right.
St. Louis Rams, Kurt Warner, they won the Super Bowl, right? Marshall Faulk gets put on the cover in 2003. Never again did he top 1,000 yards again in his career.
Wow, that's sad.
Missed a half a dozen games in each of the next 2 seasons, and his career was never the same. 2004, Michael Vick gets put on the cover, and then literally 4 years later is out of the league and in jail.
I mean, that was a tough ending. He had such promise.
He did have a lot of
I liked
promise.
watching Michael Vick play.
Vince Young, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I mean, he was doomed
2016.
from the get-go.
In 2006, excuse me. Here's a good one. 2009.
By the way, that national championship game is still one of the best in my history.
First Carson Palmer, USC.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Green Bay Packers / New York Jets quarterback Brett Favre. Brett Favre retired from the Packers.
They put him on the cover as a Jet.
No, they put him on the cover as a Packer when he left the Packers to end his career, as everyone
I
thought.
mean, he threw a pick to Corey Webster. Why would they put him on the cover?
It was the tribute, and then he went to the Jets,
He wasn't going to retire.
threw an NFL high that year, 22 interceptions.
I'm putting that one on the Madden people.
Okay, well, it's still a curse. And then the next year, broke his streak and broke his shoulder at
he
the
was
same
texting
time.
the wrong people. That's
Peyton
why.
Hillis, his career's over. Calvin
Did it even
Johnson,
start?
his career's over. Adrian Peterson,
Is that the year he got in trouble?
it was the year it was the year after he had
Wow.
2,000 yards and then got put on the cover, then got in trouble. Okay, the last one I will give you, Odell Beckham Jr. in 2016.
Ankle.
Excuse me, not Odell Beckham Jr. Rob Gronkowski would put on the cover in 2017, and then that was the year when he had the herniated disc in his back.
He
and
was always hurt,
almost
though.
Missed half the year. So, I mean, that's just a bunch of the 16 of the 22. But, I mean, listen.
Patrick Mahomes got hurt this year.
And, yeah, but for 4 games, and he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because he's the man.
It's not, the only other one that comes close to that is Tom Brady. All these other people are, like, injured, their career ended, or they didn't even make the playoffs.
Well, listen, that's why Patrick Mahomes is the MVP.
So I ask you this to finish Romalytics. Fair point.
Okay.
If I told you right now, okay, we could put you on the Madden cover. We don't know if the curse exists or not for you. Would you get put on the Madden cover?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Right?
I probably would.
I would. I mean,
Yeah,
listen.
dude, I mean, it's the Madden cover.
Madden
I mean,
cover, yeah.
I'm on John Madden.
Yes, and forever I'm in this history book, which
Yeah.
is, at the end of the day, a history book.
Listen, your name will live on forever
That's facts.
on the internet.
I would take. So yeah, I think we agree. We would both take the cover.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Anything else on the conclusion of the 2020 football season, Super Bowl 54, or what excites you for this offseason?
No, I was excited that the game ended. So I thought I'm just happy it was a good game. Like, it was a great game. It was a really good football game, which is nice. I heard a couple people in passing like, "Oh, it wasn't that exciting." You're just not. You just don't know what you're looking for.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Right.
like, you think that you need to see more passes and someone get knocked out and more controversy with the referees, but you don't need any of that. Actually, you just need some guys playing hard, and I think both teams did that, which I loved.
Yeah.
Which was great. And as for the NFL, another season in the books. You know, I'm excited about the NFL. I'm not excited about the NFL. Like, you know, they call pass interference. They don't call pass interference.
That
My
George
team
Kittle
has
one
been
was
in
terrible.
my team has been in a 9-year rebuild. Like, it's just been surrounded by coaching controversy. So, I mean, from an NFL standpoint, I feel a little battered. I'm happy the season ended on a high note, but I'm excited to watch the NHL playoff push here.
I knew that was going to come out of your mouth at some point.
Yeah.
That George Kittle end of the first half pass interference call was one of the worst I've ever seen.
I can't even, like, it's exhausting to think that I have to get angry about another pass interference call.
100%.
Right? It's not even about like that. Yeah, it's a good argument, and I'll sit in that debate whenever you want. But it's just like, at this point, it's been 6 months of me just not knowing what pass interference is,
Yes.
and it's really annoying.
Can we just get it right at some point?
Nah, because we don't know
No.
what is and what isn't.
Right. That's a great point. We have no clue. The other thing I have on it before we finish, unless you want to hear from the fans now, think about it. Andy Reid, I'm excited for the guy.
Yes.
I will disagree with Steve in this aspect. I do think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're not going to be top 10 in wins in postseason and in regular season history and not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's not a lot of guys that can do that. That's why it's such a high category to be in. Just overly excited because I've always believed in Andy Reid. I've always liked him. And I know our one father, who's probably listening to this, has always not liked Andy Reid. And he's not going to win the game. I've always said I'll take that man on my team right now. So I am so happy that forever people cannot say to him any longer he couldn't win the big game. That was going to elude him his whole entire career. And by the way, respect to that man.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's a great story.
Because did you see what he put on Instagram, the quote on Instagram after about how he wasn't going to go hang out with the Super Bowl trophy. He was going to go hang out with his trophy wife.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Respect.
Yeah, I like that. Listen, Andy Reid's a great guy. I'm happy for. Listen, it gives you hope, right? That you can, that the hard work pays off in the end.
100%.
Right.
And learning from your mistakes, adjustments.
Yeah, listen.
Adjustments,
Yeah, he made a
people.
mistake. He had a bad defensive coordinator last year. Got a better one.
Well, and
nice work.
And I polled the Romo Sapiens, by the way, Rock. Okay, because I love polling the Romo Sapiens.
What did they say?
So overwhelmingly said that he deserves to be a Hall of Famer, and it's not 86% of the votes we got, and we got about 100. So I guess essentially 86 people of the 100 said we believe Andy Reid should be a Hall of Famer. I mean, how do you disagree with that?
I mean, listen, if you look at every year that he has coached in the NFL as a head coach, his teams have never not been relevant in the playoff conversation.
18 of his 21 years, they've made the playoffs.
I mean, I think that alone is kind of where you want to draw the line. I mean, if you that you are a playoff coach, right? Whether you can win the game or not, or his record's 14-14, so it's 500 in the playoffs. But I mean, you ask any person in sports, get to the playoffs, anything can happen,
Yeah,
right? So
100%.
you are. For 90% of your career, you've made it past the number one barrier preventing teams from winning.
And it's funny you say that, and you mentioned NHL playoffs, because isn't it so prominent in hockey over every other sport that it's like just get in and you have a chance to win? I mean, look at the St. Louis Blues last year. How many times have you heard this story? And if you haven't, you should go look at it, because they were the worst team in the NHL when January hit, and then all of a sudden they won the Stanley Cup. You see teams get to the Stanley Cup that are 6, 7, 8 seeds. It's not often that now I think more so than ever, it's becoming more normal to see what people consider the underdog winning. What was cool about this Super Bowl was this is the best team on both sides of the AFC and the NFC
Definitely.
heading it off.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I thought was cool.
No, definitely. I like that too. And I think that it's changing in playoffs in every sport, because I mean, think about it. Even in recent history, I think the Eagles were 9-7, the Giants were 9-7.
Sure.
Right. I think
The Washington Nationals were in the wild card.
I mean, the Nationals were in the wild card. I mean, even look at the Titans made it to the AFC Championship
Right.
game as the wild card. So I actually think, and I think that trend is coming, because I think it's harder to play at home than it is on the road now.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
because
And is that a general sports statement, or is
think-
that a football statement?
I think the teams that I would love to study the teams that are supposed to win that end up losing. I'd love to see their home records sometimes, but I think that like if you look at their in the playoffs or whenever they lose, they'll lose at home, and I think I think it's harder to lose at home now, it's harder to win at home now than ever before. I think the pressure is the influx in the media attention on every single player has made it more difficult to play at home, because at the very least when you're on the road you feel like you're away from
All that.
scrutiny.
Yep.
Because if I turn on the radio when I'm at a road game, I'm still getting the away team's broadcast.
100%.
Right? So I can get away from my scrutiny and I can just focus on playing. So I think that's why it's getting harder to play at home now.
Well, you know what's funny? I said that too because in the playoffs, when we were watching all these away teams win in baseball, we talked so much about. We even put the poll up on the Instagram back on one of the shows. We were like, "What's harder to do? Win at home in the postseason or win on the road?" And I was surprised by the answer of it's. People said it's easier to win on the road. Well, I think you're right. And I never really even thought about it. Even being somebody that's pseudo with my job in media.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, this is media too, but never thought about it that way. And when you're a big market team, it's even worse. And when it's something historic, it's even greater. And so you put all those things together and you say, hey, you know what? Screw it. Let's go play over there. Maybe the neutral site for the Super Bowl ends up being better because if it's an home or away contest, to your point, it could be something that's significantly different. And the last thing I got for you. Do you know where the only place in America it's easier to win at home than on the road?
Basketball.
No, the Houston Astros Stadium.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Got him. Got him.
Boom, bah. All
That's a
right.
good one.
I'll
That's a
be
good one.
here all week. No, I won't. I'll be back next Monday, though.
Yeah, for sure.
One more thing before we get into the spring stuff that we're going to touch on before the show ends. I asked the people who was more to blame in the game, and I have their answers, but I want yours. The 4 categories were Kyle Shanahan's to blame for the loss, Jimmy Garoppolo's to blame for the loss, the referees are blamed for the loss, or Andy Reid is to blame for the loss.
Andy Reid.
That was the second highest chosen answer.
Absolutely.
The highest was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do think that there was an element of the 49ers losing the game, but there was more of the Chiefs winning the game, in my opinion.
Right.
I think the Chiefs won the game. They went and won the game, and I don't think either team was good enough to say that they had the ability to lose the game.
Right. I feel that.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think that goes to the point we made earlier about how it felt like either team could win the entire time.
Yes.
Okay. I want to finish the fan polls with this one because I have such a funny answer from your wife
Yes.
that I just need to read this on the air. So I read this. If you don't follow the Good Quote on Instagram, go follow it because they drop some awesome stuff. That's just good positive stuff, good positive vibes. Okay. So it said, get serious about all these different categories. So I wrote, what's the hardest thing for you to get serious about? All right. This is great. So your lovely wife, Jennifer, writes, adulting. And laundry specifically. No one has time to put away laundry. Then follows that up with Rocky's serious obsession for the curse of Oak Island. # no treasure exists. I'm not going to lie to you. What the hell is Oak Island?
The Curse of Oak Island's a show on History Channel. They've been digging for buried treasure on this island in Canada for like 250 years. And they keep finding gold coins and all this old stuff. Honestly, there's been so many researchers, Doug, that it seems like the show is just there to uncover what other people have done. And you're like, oh, look, they were here. Sweet. Well, are you ever going to get to the treasure?
That was some guy that dropped a quarter, dude.
And ultimately, why aren't we just doing an archaeological dig on the whole place? We have to drill these holes. Just dig a hole. You know where it is. Dig a huge hole until you find it. I don't get it.
I could see why, though, that...
But I need to see it. I need to know if they're going to find it.
It's so
It's
funny.
really annoying.
Well, I understand why she has 3 exclamation points at the end of that statement because
Yeah.
she's tired of watching that show.
Yeah, and they just repeat the name. I get why it's annoying, but I got to watch it.
And the quote, just so you hear it, is get serious about peace, future, your goals, your love, your faith, your mental, your life, and your soul.
That is nice.
It is nice. I thought it was pretty good. So, but Jen didn't feel any of those. She said, I need to get serious about adulting, and I need to get serious about what my husband watches and doing laundry. And Jen, I can relate. picked up the keys to my new apartment today.
Nice, congratulations.
It is a congratulations until like you start spending the money you have to spend
Yeah,
to
there you go.
equip
Welcome.
the apartment.
Yeah. Welcome to
And
welcome
then
to
it's like,
adulting.
wow, man, this adulting stuff is reckless.
Yes.
I'm excited though. I get to live close to work. I've never done that before.
Outstanding. Good luck.
All right. 5 minutes remaining on the show here, The Rome Show, 609-807-2492. Appreciate all the people tuning in on the Facebook. 20 shares, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
I like it.
Share the show. Tell a friend that tells a friend that tells a friend. Tell somebody to listen. Any way we can get the show out there, continue to. Let me give props to the Romo Sapiens, by the way. Last week, we hit another milestone. 1,500 people
Yeah. 1,500.
listen to the Rome Show last week. I want to guess that it was January 27th. I think I'm right. I have no clue. Either way, that show, record-breaking show. Rob DeTomo was on the show. Go back on the podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can listen to that episode or watch it on the Facebook at /Rome Show 1 or Andrew.Romanella. Either one. Go check that show out. So, Steven alluded to it. Now it's lacrosse season, it's baseball season, but it's also XFL season. Are you more excited about the Metropolitans and their new manager or checking out what the XFL is all about?
The New York Mets, dude. The XFL's not going to do well.
You don't think so?
It's not an affiliate with the NFL.
But they're playing in NFL stadiums.
It doesn't. The NFL has to put its name on it for it to do well.
Okay.
Or else you should not play in NFL stadiums.
Well, that's probably a good point, but
I
what
just
other
don't-
football stadiums do you play in?
You go play in soccer stadiums.
That's not a bad
And
idea.
you would align yourself with the MLS, and you go become a developmental league for the NFL. I'm sorry, but like if the NFL's name's not on it, a secondary league will never work.
That's a great point. And I agree with you. I think what they're trying to do is establish something so that the NFL comes to them and says, hey, let's partner on this thing.
I mean, I just don't understand like why. Like I get maybe their marketing plan is or their business plan is okay. If we play our games at NFL stadiums, maybe an NFL team will affiliate with us, and then we can get on their fan base to come to our games in the off season.
Which you're probably right about.
But I mean, the NFL is already losing so many. I mean, I guess you'll have people go.
Yeah,
People love football.
they do love football.
But I don't know. I'd rather just watch baseball and hockey.
I agree with you, and I'm excited about Luis Rojas. We haven't really had a chance to talk about it. We have a quick minute here before the show ends. The Astros hired Dusty Baker to a one-year deal with a club option for the second year. Not showing a lot of faith, really just probably had a conversation with him about, hey, you're not going to be here for long, but you're going to be here to get us through this patch. The Mets hire Luis Rojas, I think, for different reasons. 2-year deal, third-year club option. Has a lot of family ties. Moises Alou is, I believe, his father or cousin. I think it's his father. Either way, has ties in baseball, has been in the Mets organization, but does not have a lot of experience managerial-wise. Of the two, who do you think performs better in this season?
I mean, from a win standpoint, it's going to be. I want it to be the New York Mets, and I could say I want to say it's because they don't have as much negativity swirling around, but the instability of the Mets having a really good team and them just like throwing it away versus the Astros still have a good team.
Right.
They didn't lose any current players; they lost future players.
Yes.
Right? So unless the league wants to suspend these guys, Dusty Baker is the perfect guys to get these guys focused on going to win again. And by the way, how do they not want to go out and dominate this year knowing that they're not cheating?
Yeah, I agree with you. They want
Right?
to prove
And
who
Dusty,
they really
Dusty
are.
Baker is a professional head coach.
And he
so,
needs to prove something, too.
and no doubt. And by the way, when's the last time Dusty won in the World Series?
Never.
Exactly. So I'm going to actually pick the Astros.
I would agree with you 100%. We're going to get deeper into it next Monday, February 10th, on the next edition of The Rome Show. We'll get you excited for pitchers and catchers. Thank you to Steven. Thank you to Ruben, our producer, Hamilton Radio, the listeners, everybody. Andrew Romanella, Rocky Romanella, The Rome Show. Back next Monday. We are out.
Dusty.
Are you looking to become a better leader, whether that's in business, in sports, or in life, and you haven't found a book yet to help you get to that game-changing aha moment? Well, we have the book for you. Tighten the Lug Nuts, the principles of balance. To become a better leader, whether that's in business, in sports, or in life, and you haven't found a book yet to help you get to that game-changing aha moment, well, we have the book for you. Tighten the Lug Nuts, the principles of balanced leadership. Tighten the Lug Nuts will help you get to that game-changing leadership moment. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and iBooks, or at 360managementservices.com. That's the number 360managementservices.com. Pick up your copy today and start changing your leadership styles.
Do this look like work to you? Nah, looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Everyone tonight is here, all of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah, all of this for me. Bottles over here, all of this for me. All of this for me.